So we'll be looking at what is sociology, what's it add, what's it contribute. The second topic, which follows from that, is this concept of socialization, the idea that human beings are born screaming babies. They can't even talk, they can't really think very much, they can't do anything, they're completely helpless. And within a few years, they've become fully social human beings, capable of living in the modern world. And this is quite a remarkable process when you think about it. And so we're interested in what sociology has to say about that process and different views of it, because one of the things that you'll see from sociology is that things are rarely straightforward. And one of the things that I think you need to see from the beginning is you never see a sociologist with one hand. And by that I mean there's always, they will say to you, on the one hand this, but on the other hand, something completely different. And so your job is to not just to understand these different points of view, but also to take a position, to decide which point of view you find most convincing and that you want to argue for. Because when you get to the exam here, you'll get reasonably good marks for clearly explaining things, showing that you've understood. But if you really want good marks, we're looking for arguments. We're looking to see that you not only have understood it, but that you've taken a position on it. And you've argued the case for one point of view as opposed to another. There's no right answer. There are as many different answers as there are sociologists. So it's not a question of getting the right answer. It's a question of arguing the case convincingly and persuading the examiners that you have really thought through the issues that are there. So we'll give you some illustrations of that as we go on. But also, later in the year, I'll be back, and many of my colleagues will be back, so we'll be giving you a lot more advice on how to do really well in exams when they come. Okay, so we'll start now with the difficult question of what is sociology. Before we do that, does anybody have anything they would like to add to this? If I said to you, or if you go home or you go into a restaurant and you meet your friends and you say, I'm studying sociology this year, and they say to you, well, what's that then? What would you say? Anyone got any answers? What's it all about? You wouldn't just say, don't know, I haven't a clue, would you? So what would you say it's about?
I would say I would study about how society works.
Brilliant, okay, how society works. It is indeed about how society works. And there's a lot within that. What do we mean by society? Where is society? What is society? And does it work always? Not always. And so we'll come back to those questions in a minute. Anything else you might say it's about?
How individuals and the society are included.
Brilliant. And that is a really good answer as well. How individuals and the society are linked. So in that sense, it's slightly different in emphasis from, say, psychology. And psychology does have a social dimension, and many of you are studying social psychology this year, I imagine. But so psychology really begins very much with the individual, whereas sociology focuses much more on the interaction between the individual and society, whatever that is. Okay, so it's these outward-looking things from the individual. So these are all correct answers, and probably if everybody told me a different answer, they would all be right in one way or another. And as with all sociology, it's often just a matter of emphasizing one thing more than another, and we'll see some examples of that this morning. But I want to focus on two things that are component parts of sociology, which are both encompassed by both of the things that you just said. And by looking at it in this way, it will allow us to see that there are different theories of both how society works, which is your point, and different theories of the relationship between the individual and society, and we can begin to start comparing. Now, the thing I want to start with